Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, passion for excellence.
Here are today's top headlines. GM posts its first earnings since emerging from bankruptcy. There is still way too much overcapacity in the global auto industry. And we also have a story where I get to use some of my vacation photos. Up next, we'll be back with the news behind the headlines. This is Autoline Daily for Monday, November 16, 2009, and now the news. General Motors lost $1.2 billion in the third quarter, what it calls a managerial net loss. Managerial accounting refers to financial reporting that management uses and differs from GAAP guidelines, which is used to report to shareholders. On an earnings before income taxes basis, it lost $261 million. GM's North American operations lost $661 million, but its international operations made a profit of $238 million. But GM said it would also start repaying U.S. and Canadian loans in the fourth quarter and would make quarterly payments of $1.2 billion until the loans are paid off in 2011. It will repay the German government loans to Opel by the end of this month. And GM also said its global market share was up compared to the second quarter of 2009. Saab dealers in the U.S. are running low on inventory. According to Bloomberg, the car maker has cut production and is retooling a factory to produce the new 9.5 next year. GM's sale of Saab to Koenigsegg is holding back production until that deal goes through. And last week it was announced that 81 out of 218 Saab dealers in the U.S. will close. Saab sales in the U.S. have dropped over 60% this year. Even with all the restructuring in the auto industry, a report from CSM Worldwide says that there is still way too much overcapacity. According to the Wall Street Journal, the industry is capable of building nearly 86 million vehicles a year, about 30 million more than will be sold this year. And by 2015, the industry will only get to 85% of capacity utilization. It says that more brands need to die off and that the acquisition of brands like Volvo and Saab by Chinese automakers will not help reduce overcapacity. The Detroit Free Press reports that Ford resolved the labor troubles at its Kansas City, Missouri plant. Workers were voting to strike over workload issues. That plant builds the F-150, the Escape, the Mariner, and Tribute SUVs. Ford also announced the development of an all-new purpose-built police interceptor to replace the ancient Crown Victoria when production ends in 2011. The company says it will exceed the old model in durability, safety, and performance, but it doesn't say what it's going to build it on. The European Union is working on a research project to allow platoons of cars to automatically link together. According to the BBC, up to 8 vehicles would autonomously follow a lead platoon vehicle driven by a professional driver. Thanks to various sensors, the cars in platoon would automatically follow each other behind the lead car so drivers can read, watch TV, or do whatever they want. The idea is to make the platoons active so vehicles can exit and join freely. This approach eliminates the need to embed expensive sensors in the road because each vehicle would be outfitted with its own electronics. And I gotta tell you, I love this next story because I get to use some pictures I took on my recent vacation. Autoblog reports that Porsche is suing Crocs, the company that makes those blobby-looking foam shoes, because it calls its popular sandal Cayman, a name obviously that Porsche has trademarked. A cayman's a type of crocodile, also known as a jacare, pictured here. But who's going to confuse a sports car with a pair of shoes? Sounds to me like Porsche's lawyers have too much free time on their hands. Coming up next, a look at the all-new Kia Sorento.
Changing tires out here could be dangerous, but with these tires, I don't need to worry.
Bridgestone.
The crossover segment continues to grow as manufacturers either add new product or, in this case, upgrade an existing one. And that's just what Kia's done with the 2011 Sorento. This all-new vehicle is also the first product to start coming off the line at the equally all-new Kia manufacturing facility in West Point, Georgia, which has the capacity to build around 300,000 Sorentos a year. One of the bigger changes to the vehicle is visual. It's over 4 inches longer and an inch or so wider than its predecessor. That gave engineers the room to add a third seat, allowing Sorento an advantage over some of its more popular competition. The extra 5 more cubic feet of space didn't hurt either, all of which is key since Kia is now spotlighting the family with this latest version of its crossover vehicle. And keeping up with that target up front, the upgraded interior comes with a standard technology package that features everything in it from satellite radio, CD, and MP3 system, Bluetooth connectivity, and you get a push-button start and a host of other options that are available. The unibody construction sports either front-wheel or all-wheel drive, and under the hood there's 2 engines available, a 2.4-liter 4-cylinder with 172 horsepower, and a 3.5 V6 with 273 horsepower. With the 6-speed automatic, the 4 gets 21 city, 28 highway. That's about 11 to 8 liters per 100 kilometers, while the 6 just gets a little bit less than that. The 2011 Sorento, which goes on sale in January, starting around $20,000, is still looking up at segment leaders like the Ford Escape and Honda's CR-V. We'll see if Kia's recent success in the North American market can bring this crossover closer to the competition in sales. And that is it for today's top news in the global automotive industry. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.